Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of Osoyoos Town Council, Tuesday, May 26, 2026 at 2 p.m. in Council Chambers. So we will first of all ask for the approval of the agenda, and there are no late items. Oh, thank you. Could we have a motion, please? Councillor King, Councillor Chong, all in favor. Thank you. And we need the adoption of some regular open minutes. That would be of May the 12th, 2026. Could we have a motion? Councillor Poderica, Councillor Bennett, all in favor. Thank you. And now we're looking at the 2025 audited financial statements. And Mrs. Keith, do we have Mrs. Saville on the phone? Oh.
She's just joined the
meeting. Okay. Mrs. Saville, please go ahead. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. Wonderful. So I'm here to present the audit report for the town statements and the Sun Bowl Arena. So we'll start with the town of Osoyoos. And in our opinion, the accompanying financial statements do present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the municipality as at December 31st, 2025, and the results of its operations, changes in net financial assets, and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with Canadian public sector accounting standards. So that is a clean audit opinion for the town. And then our opinion for the Sun Bowl Arena. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements present fairly in all material respects the results of its operations for the year ended December 31st, 2025, in accordance with Canadian public sector accounting standards. So also another clean audit opinion this year.
So is there anything else that you need to add? I believe that we're a little bit late this year. So was there a bit of a rush to get this done? Because I believe it needs to be where we're probably overdue. Am I correct?
I defer to Nicolette on that one.
We have a legislated requirement to file our LGIS reporting, which is done to the province. And as part of that reporting, we attach the audited financial statements. So in that respect, that should have been done prior to the 15th of May. So we are a little bit behind in that filing. However, we have a draft already uploaded and ready to go. We just needed the finals to get them submitted.
Thank you. And they are fine if we have it, if we submit it a little bit late. Have they contacted us or the province?
No, they have not. We have received some update emails that kind of goes out to everyone in a broad span where part of their online platform was disabled. And so they actually were just advising us that if it was, that we could recall our filing and redo it. So that bodes well for us and that will be with everyone else in that respect. Yeah.
Thank you. I will just see if there's any questions. Go ahead, Councillor Chong.
Thank you. But according to, if I recall correctly, the action plan, we should have seen these statements from M&P a couple weeks ago or so, or something like that.
I think what the question is referring to, that as per the audit plan, we are delayed. It was a coordinated effort, I think, between the two of us to get them on track and filed. I don't know if Jennifer, you want to expand on a little bit as to why we're delayed.
Sure. Yeah, I can definitely do that. Yeah. So it is a small delay from the initial timeline in the audit service plan. There were a few hiccups that happened during the audit, mainly to do with a couple entries that were posted to the prior year after the audit had been closed that were identified as part of the issue that was causing the delay. And there was also a few new accounts set up this year that there was a little bit of extra time required to sort out where they needed to go with the correct groupings. And that was the reason for the delay. Between Nicolette and myself and Jay, we all worked a lot of hours to sort all this out to make sure that everything was in the correct spot and there were no issues noted once that was resolved.
Thank you. Did anyone else have any other questions or concerns? Okay, go ahead, Councillor Chong.
Thank you. I mean, Director Keith has pretty much done like a 180 with our financial statements. In your opinion, have you noticed like a positive change with that type of work, like compared to the past and current?
It's always difficult to say when there's a changeover in who's taking care of the accounting. There's always a bit of a cleanup between where one person left off and another person picks up and trying to figure out what had been done and what hadn't been done. So I think it's a bit too early to tell at this point, but I do want to thank her for all her efforts and the time spent on it to make the audit go as smooth as possibly that it could. It's really appreciated.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that needs to? All right, so what we are looking at today then is that council received the 2025 audited financial statements for the town and the Sun Bowl Arena. Is there somebody who would like to make that motion? Thank you, Councillor Chong, Councillor Poderica, all in favor. Thank you very much. So thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
All right, next we have, we're looking at bylaws. The proposed zoning review, 4601 97th Street. And I believe Ms. Duong, welcome back. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. And I did want to just provide a quick point of clarity. Unfortunately, I did get that subject line wrong. This is actually meant to address the various land use bylaw amendments 2026 project. So I'll just start off with that. I do have a very, very short PowerPoint presentation today just to give us a quick refresh on this project, but council would have heard quite a bit on this over the last several months. So
Thank you. Go ahead.
And can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Perfect. So I'll just start by going over the council consideration history. So as council may be aware, this project was initiated back in January of this year after staff had provided an overview of a number of potential bylaw amendments to address issues that had been identified with the various land use bylaws through our day-to-day use. So that's the origination of this project. On March 24th, 2026, in a regular open council meeting, council had resolved to refer the amendment bylaws back to committee in order to discuss the proposed parking stall dimensions that were being proposed under amendment bylaw number 1395.12. And then back in April, we brought that discussion back to committee, and council had resolved to initiate amendment bylaw number 1395.12, subject to the removal of the proposed changes pertaining to parking space dimensions. And most recently on May 12th, in committee, staff had provided an overview of a zoning issue that was identified regarding the property at 4601 97th Street, which would require rezoning at the property to allow for the construction of a duplex dwelling as part of a broader townhouse development. At that time, council did resolve to revise amendment bylaw number 1395.12 to include a site-specific provision to permit one duplex dwelling as a principal use at the property. So we've now revised that amendment bylaw to reflect the previous council resolutions, and both the OCP and zoning amendment bylaw are now in front of council today for consideration of first and second readings. With respect to the proposed changes, OCP amendment bylaw number 1375.11 speaks to a couple different parts of the bylaw. So as it relates to the riparian development permit or RDP area designation, proposed changes include the addition of new exemption criteria, clarification of existing criteria, and the removal of any redundant exemptions. Other proposed changes include the revision of land use designation and industrial, mixed use, and commercial and multifamily development permit area maps in order to reflect previous council decisions that were provided via the adoption of amendment bylaw numbers 1375.03 2024 and 1375.06 2024. With respect to zoning amendment bylaw number 1395.12, so as it pertains to the general industrial zone, proposed changes include reintroducing alcohol production facility to the general industrial zone, which reflects a previous allowance for craft brewery and distillery within the then general industrial zone under former zoning bylaw number 1085. And then following Council's May 12th resolution, it's also proposed to include a new site-specific provision, which would allow the property at 4601 97th Street to have one duplex dwelling, and that would be as a site-specific provision. This amendment bylaw also includes a couple of new additions to address issues that we identified since the original initiation of the project in January. Specifically, this includes for that same property at 4601 97th Street, revising the existing site-specific provision, which allows secondary suites to clarify that suites may be located within a townhouse or duplex unit, which was originally identified as part of the rezoning application back in 2024 when it was discussed as a townhouse development, and also to correct a typo within table 10.7 of the bylaw, which relates to required off-street accessible parking spaces. The table currently incorrectly refers to use as opposed to the required number of spaces. So just a minor amendment to that table. And with this in mind, we are seeking Council's direction today with respect to the proposed amendment bylaws. And we are recommending that amendment bylaw number 1375.11 as well as 1395.12 be read a first and second time and proceed to public hearing on June 23rd. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Duong. Does anyone have any questions, concerns about this they want to ask? No, it's a review of what we've already done. So is there someone who would like to move the recommended motion? And I think I probably need to read it. Am I correct? That the Town of Osoyoos Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw number 1375.11 2026 and the Town of Osoyoos Zoning Amendment Bylaw number 1395.12 2026 be read a first and second time and proceed to public hearing, and that Council considers the process as outlined in this report from the Chief Executive Officer dated May 26, 2026 to be appropriate consultation for the purpose of Section 475 of the Local Government Act, and that in accordance with Section 477 of the Local Government Act, Council has considered Amendment Bylaw number 1375.11 2026 in conjunction with its financial and applicable waste management plans, and that the holding of a public hearing be scheduled for the regular open council meeting of June the 23rd, 2026, and that staff give notice to the public hearing in accordance with the requirements of the Local Government Act. Would someone like to move that? Councillor Poderica, Councillor Chong, all in favor. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Duong. And we will move on to the election bylaw amendment. Sorry, did I miss something? Oh, street naming. Okay, I've missed a whole section here. Back up. That's where my other one is. Sorry about that. Go ahead. It will be the street naming and building numbering amendment bylaw. Go ahead, please, Mrs. Coulson.
Thank you, Your Worship. The amendments to this bylaw, as you recall from the last meeting, relate primarily to allowing suite addressing formats that use alpha suffixes as opposed to numeric prefixes. The changes accommodate the trend towards increased density and allow compliance with the Canada Post requirements for addressing. Council was provided with the first three readings of the bylaw on May the 12th, and today's recommendations is for Council to adopt the street naming and building numbering amendment bylaw number 1227.01 2026.
Thank you. We've already dealt with this on May the 12th, so is there someone who would like to make a motion to adopt this? Thank you. Councillor Chong, Councillor Bennett, all in favor. Thank you. All right, now we'll go on to the election bylaw amendment. Thank you, Mrs. Coulson.
Thank you, Your Worship. So I introduced the changes to the election bylaw number 1332 at the May 12th Committee of the Whole meeting. So I'll just touch briefly on the bylaw amendments today. The main amendments will include the addition of the authority to use mail ballots along with procedures for using mail ballots, regulations around the placement of election signs, and a change to the second statutory advance voting opportunity from 3 days prior to the general voting day to 7 days prior. The recommendation for Council today is to provide the first three readings to election bylaw Amendment 1332.02 2026. And I would be pleased to answer any questions council may have prior to the readings.
Thank you. Councillor King.
You don't pick them up, you have to apply for them. And it's very much like when you walk up to the voting place and you have to register first. Somebody has to register to receive that ballot. And it's possible for someone to come in and do that for you if they're designated as your person of authority. Say, for instance, if someone isn't well, you can send someone else in to come and pick it up for you. You fill it in and then send it back with a certification on the outside of the envelope to say that you're entitled to vote.
And we've identified that would be town hall to pick them up.
Yes, generally it would be town hall.
Generally, it will
Yeah,
be.
yes.
Thanks.
Okay, are there any other concerns, questions? Go ahead, Councillor Chong.
Thank you. In the case where, because this is a change and if election signs were placed in a park or town-owned or public property, including sidewalks, utility poles, fences and planters, what would happen with those signs?
Imagine the bylaw enforcement would be very similar to the rest of our bylaw enforcement. We would get a hold of the person who put the sign there. It would be pretty obvious by the information on the sign and ask them if they could move it and just use that as an opportunity to educate them about where they can go and where they should not go.
Okay, anything else? No, all right, could we have, please, a recommendation that council provide first, second, and third readings of election amendment bylaw number 1332.02 2026. Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Bennett, all in favor. Thank you. And next, council reports. We have several reports here. Can we do them all at once? All right. So there is a report for me, the mayor, for 4 days in Revelstoke. There is one for Councillor Bennett for 4 days in Revelstoke at Silga. There's one for Councillor King for 4 days in Revelstoke, and another one for Councillor King who attended the library board meeting. So could we have a motion, please, to accept the expenses for the mayor for $400, Councillor Bennett for $400, and Councillor King for $500? Councillor Poderica, Councillor Chong, all in favor. Thank you very much. And now we'll move on to reports from the Committee of the Whole meeting this morning. And it was moved and seconded that a business license application requesting a short-term rental accommodation at 332 Empire Street, legally described as Strata Lot 3, District Lot 2450S, SDYD, Plan EPS 7380 be refused. Could we have a motion, please? Thank you. Councillor Chong, Councillor Poderica, all in favor. Thank you very much. And we will now look for the CAO report. Thank you.
Sorry, could we get
Sorry.
clarification whether
I apologize. What have I missed?
oh, not missed. Were you opposed?
No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it was carried. That's all. Yeah, thank you. Okay. CAO report. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. In community services, the results have been compiled now from the recreation program survey, and they're very pleased with all the feedback they received from the community. And they wish for the community to know that they are actively looking for ways to implement some of the things that were requested and commented on in that survey. Summer camp, day camp registration is scheduled to start on June 3rd for local families. In corporate services, bylaw officers have been working on unsightly premises, educating residents on watering restrictions, dealing with dogs at large still, and issuing municipal tickets for parking where prohibited. Corporate services staff have been completing the annual municipal report, which will be coming before council shortly, adding to the new website content and conducting interviews for several positions that we are looking to fill right now. Finally, they are responding to a number of FOI requests. In communications, Facebook had just over 9,000 page views since the last council meeting. The top posts were about the pop-up roller rink, construction on 89th Avenue, and a water disruption on 89th Avenue. The website had also about 9,000 views since the last update, and a summer fun survey will be launched shortly, and it's just for fun, asking people what they like to do in Osoyoos in the summertime. In the planning department, several new business licenses were issued again this term. Fairwinds Guest Suites, which is a short-term rental, Island Vibrations, a wholesale, Download Performance for vehicle detailing, Sweet Smoke Vape Company, which was formerly Rialto Vapor, Crown's Barbershop and Beauty Lounge had a change of name to Royalty Barbers, and Cheeks, formerly Cheeks Beachwear, has a new location and a name change. 14 sign permits have been issued already in 2026, exceeding the 12 that were issued in all of 2025. In the financial services area, 2026 tax notices have been printed and distributed to residents. They will be due on July 2nd. Q2 utility bills have also been issued and are due on June 30th. In the fire department, on May 20th, the Osoyoos Fire Department will be hosting a lithium-ion battery and electric vehicle training seminar for our firefighters. The purpose, I should say, of this session is to better understand the risks associated with using the LIB EV technology and how to combat thermal runaway fires and how to dispose of the batteries properly if they've been compromised. In addition to our own members, invites have been sent to both the Anarchist and Oliver Fire Departments to join in this learning opportunity. And finally, under operational services, the water treatment plant pilot is scheduled to be decommissioned and removed from the Irrigation Station 8 site on the week of June 1st, and council will hear more on this at the June 9th Committee of the Whole. Work will begin shortly to clean out the debris mound from power loading at the Osoyoos Marina boat launch. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Coulson. Could I have a motion, please, to accept the CAO report for information? Councillor King, Councillor Chong, all in favor. Thank you. And we will now look for council reports. Councillor Chong, you're first.
Nothing much to report except that our beach volleyball league starts next Wednesday. So come on down. We'll have music and it's always a good time. Spectators are always welcome. And thank you to Osoyoos Childcare for providing child minding during all those days. So all the parents can have unbridled fun.
It doesn't interfere with your golf game, does it? These ones are on separate nights.
No.
Good. Thank you. Councillor Poderica.
Thank you, Your Worship. May 20th, attended with yourself, actually, 2 events. Make Water Work launch here at Town Hall. Of course, last year Osoyoos won the Make Water Work Challenge. Again, thank you, Armstrong, for falling behind for this year. I do hope that we maintain this title going forward for this year. So as we mentioned, I think this morning with OPWB's presentation, it is now, the website is now open for you to make your pledge to make water work in our community. Also that evening, attended Osoyoos' tourism stakeholder event at Osoyoos Golf Course. Thank you, Lakeside Cellars and Tumbleweed for helping supply that event. It was a good opportunity for ourselves as well as Director Coulson was there, or actually CEO Coulson, to meet with tourism stakeholders here in the south of Okanagan as we get ready for a busy summer. And finally, just thank you, Director Keith Turner team for finalizing the year-end financials. It's a bit of a challenge walking into your first set with us, but I do appreciate the hard work and the time that's been put into this and working to get all our reports finalized. That's my report.
Thank you. Councillor King.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Kind of an interesting last week, went to the first Okanagan Library Regional Board. The building, I couldn't believe the size of it is huge. I'd never been in it before. Plus the boardroom holds 23 people because there's 23 libraries in the area, which is quite interesting. And I'll just hit some of the highlights. They also just went through the financials and adopted it last week. The CEO made a report on their strategic and operational plans moving forward. They talked about new policies update, loss and damage materials, periodicals, privacy, social media, and records informers management. So it was really interesting. But what was interesting, all 23 people showed up, 18 live and 5 online. I was quite impressed with everybody there. So they're actually quite committed, and they are trying to hold a referendum in Penticton to hopefully Penticton will come back into the fold because they're not in it right now. And one other thing, just to mention, the market on Saturdays is now open. A lot of vendors there to see, a lot of things to purchase. If you're from out of town or even if you're local, stop by, pick up some fresh veg or vegetables are coming. That's my report.
Thank you very much. Councillor Bennett,
Nothing to report this week.
because you sent Councillor King to the library board meeting.
Some experience.
Thank you. Okay, so a couple of things for me. The Resort Community Collaborative, which is made up of all of the mayors from the 14 resort municipalities, had a meeting last week, which I was able to attend. It usually interferes with regional district meetings, but they have sent a letter to the government from all of us based on flexible, transparent, locally responsive funding tools that are needed, local infrastructure, service delivery pressures. Those are the kinds of things that we're concerned about. And in order to deliver tourism growth, they're asking for more money. So that seems to be typical. So that was the resort municipality people. I was also, of course, at the Make Water Work launch, and I thank all of Okanagan Basin Water Board staff for attending and many town staff as well. It was a nice day, although it was pretty windy, so everything was blowing around all over the place. So I appreciate that. And Osoyoos people need to know that they need to sign up. You can't do it last year and expect it's going to count for this year's Make Water Work pledge. So please go on and do that right now, because I know how to check to see who's on there. I've looked at the list. So that was a great event. At Destination Osoyoos had the tourism stakeholders meeting up at the Osoyoos Golf Course the other day, and I was there along with Councillor Poderica and Mrs. Colson. I was also on it's called a CETA, Canada-European Union Economic Trade Agreement, it was Minister Brittany Anderson that was dealing with it, talking about Global Affairs Canada, and the UBCM president was also on. They're talking about an increase in trade mainly with France. They were on there in agri-food, wood, auto, leather, manufacturing machinery, and aluminum. And so it's been since 1917 that the European Union and Canada have joined to better understand trade relations, and they're looking at tariff removal for goods traded between the European Union and Canada. So I just want to point out that tomorrow night at the Sonora Center, that's Wednesday, the 27th of May, Fortis is holding a public safety power shutoff session. It's from 3 until 6 in the afternoon. It's available for anybody who's interested in the possibility of finding out more about the need to shut off the power. And Fortis is coming to put on this presentation. They're there to answer questions. They're there to get into a discussion with people. It is not a presentation. There are plenty of them from Fortis that are coming, and they would be happy to talk to people who would like to find out more about it. And I certainly hope people will show up and ask questions about this and try to understand it better, because I specifically asked Fortis if they would consider coming to Osoyoos and explaining it, so they are. So please come out tomorrow, Wednesday, between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock at the Sonora Center. And this weekend, the local Osoyoos Elks are putting on it's the provincial AGM that they're having here in Osoyoos, and it's 29th, 30th, and 31st at the Osoyoos Elks Hall. So we hope that all of the visitors that come from other Elks groups around the province will enjoy Osoyoos, and thank you to the Elks for doing that. That's on Saturday. That is the welcome, and I think you may see quite a few people around town from that group. So that's my report, and pursuant to section 91 of the Community Charter, a part of the council meeting may be closed to the public if the subject matter being considered relates to one or more of the following. Section 91N, the consideration of whether a council meeting should be closed under a provision of this subsection or subsection 2. Could I have a motion to go in camera, please? Councillor King.